Hello and welcome to Is There Something in This, the podcast where Jason, Chatfield, and me, Scott, do our meeting.
Why didn't you give your second name? What's the matter with you?
I sounded like a 6-year-old. It's like a study.
That's
it was
very
a study
funny.
being done
That's
at a
funny.
university where they're like, what is the limit of a 6-year-old's memory? And they told me information. And then they told other people information, and then we came back like, if I could remember it after a week.
No.
But 2 weeks was just stretching
Yeah,
it.
you can
And I just started making stuff up so I didn't look stupid.
Yeah, you can flip the soap upside down. A monkey would never have figured that out.
That's
Ooh.
right. I'm clever. Listen, here's the thing. Scott Dooley, smarter than a monkey, dumber than a 6-year-old.
We already have an episode title.
That's the sweet spot in which I live.
Is it?
Yeah, but I've learnt how to handle it. It's like someone who's
No.
got a fear, like KRS-One hates flying. But he's a very popular musician.
He is.
So you know what? He works around it. When he travelled to Australia, he went by boat.
Of course he did.
Yeah.
From
America.
over the Pacific.
Over the Pacific Ocean, and then drove around, and my friend or a friend of a friend had to drive him around everywhere. And
my
this is
God.
one of those things of like, never meet your heroes.
Yeah.
No, never travel around in a car with your heroes.
Never Uber your heroes.
Yeah.
Why? What happened?
Because you know what? Einstein would have farted. Like, that's just the fact.
Einstein. No.
Einstein would have farted. Now, that's an episode title.
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Is There Something in This? This is episode 17. Einstein would have farted. We are going to chuck around a few ideas that we're going to pitch to the New Yorker.
I don't care for this one bit. I've
I've
done such a bad job that you've actually...
I want to be able to do a supercut of every Scott Dooley intro of the episodes.
You're in trouble if Chatfield's getting you back on
Yeah,
the rails.
right?
If
Exactly.
you're the one that's
I've
back.
got 0 radio chops. You've got a decade of experience plus. Here I am filling in the blanks. Okay, so what do you reckon we dive right into it? What have you got this week?
I've got a lot. Because
Yeah,
last week I
good.
was really thin. This week
Yeah.
I've got a lot, but most of them are kind of half-thought ideas that... But
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
All right.
this one is guys on a baseball field, like baseball
I
players.
like it already.
But they're dotted around like on little round tables, maybe with small things, smoking cigarettes.
You mean monocles?
Kind of. No. Little small sunglasses.
Oh, small sunglasses.
Yeah,
Right,
sorry.
yeah.
And maybe spectacles as
Okay,
well, and
all right.
smoking cigarettes, almost like a French scene, but on a baseball field, and
Okay.
it's the New York Cosmopolitans.
That sounds almost like each player has to be a Samantha or a Carrie.
Yeah, well,
Or a Miranda.
I was thinking more French, like the Cosmopolitan
yeah.
instead of the Metropolitan.
Cosmopolitan.
Yeah, mais
Yeah.
oui.
The New York Cosmopolitan.
I-
They're bottom of the ladder, by the way, because they just won't run for a ball. They refuse. They don't want to do that at all.
Is how you call the hustle? It below me.
So what are all the little, when the catcher does all the symbols to the pitcher, are they old French, like, put 2 fingers up backwards and, 1 finger up?
Well, I think the catcher's probably having a philosophical conversation with the third base coach about Descartes.
And what do you think about Descartes? Now,
I slide, therefore I am.
was this born of your trip to Paris, or you just constantly think about?
The New York Metropolitans.
Yeah, well, I know the New York Metropolitans.
They're the greatest baseball team ever.
Okay, well, let's calm down.
We split the series because
Did
of
we?
rain.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So, you know what's interesting, by the way, just as a side note, we've talked about this before when I switched out cricket for baseball. Nobody in Australia gives a crap about baseball.
No,
No one.
but because it's too much.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
this has always been the issue with American sports until kind of league passes came in Australia.
Yeah.
And the same with the Premier League as well. There's a genuine interest in it, but
Yeah.
unless you can follow a team, like Australians follow teams,
That's
not
right.
sports.
Very tribal.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
And as a result, it's like one day you're watching Chelsea Liverpool,
Yeah.
and then the next week it's Man United versus Man City. I kind of really like that Chelsea guy.
Yeah,
that's what I want to go
yeah,
for.
yeah.
And it's the same with it.
Interesting.
And then you add baseball, so you've got time zones. you've got 180 games a season.
That's right.
You're really going to struggle to see more than one Marlins game a year on
Right.
foreign television
Right,
unless
right.
you're really searching them out.
Actually, that's a really good point. I got a mate who moved back to Sydney from New York. He's a muso, plays in a band called Pinch Hitter on Triple J. So listen to him. Nicky Van Breda, he really got me into the Yankees when I moved here as an expat. He watches them in the middle of the night, 3 a.m, on the MLB app. Streamed to his
Yeah,
TV.
see, those things have been game changers.
He will wake up in the middle of the night to watch a Yanks-Mets game, like this weekend just gone, and he will
Single guy, right?
No, pregnant wife.
Well, there's
So,
your
all right,
answer.
there you go. So it's an interesting.
I knew
thing.
he wasn't getting laid.
Yeah,
I just didn't know how.
Either way, yeah, there's a reason for this. But I mean, he's up half the night anyway. So he gets up in the middle of the night, and then we'll text every game and just be like, oh fucking Didi, like there'll be something.
Yeah.
And we're doing all right this season.
They're
so
looking good, the Yankees. Yeah.
It's much like the Pies. So it's one of those things where you've got this real excitement around
Don't
it.
you dare jinx it.
I just knocked on this wonderful wood.
I was saying to someone the other day,
Yeah.
I know Collingwood's going well because I've taken now whenever anyone talks to me about the Australian Football League, I act as if it's a press conference and I'm the coach. You know, when your team does well, that's what you do.
Don't want to jinx them.
Listen, we're just
hang back.
we're keeping a lid on it. We've
Yep,
got,
right.
we've still got
Just
injury
working hard.
concerns.
Yep.
And we've just got a thing down at the club where, one guy falls, the other one steps up and does his job.
Right.
It takes 44 to win a flag. I've got them. I've got them all. I've got them all.
That's amazing.
Me and my dad have gotten to and this is how I also know Collingwood's going well.
Yeah.
Because my dad and I are now just sending each other negative texts about Collingwood because we don't want them to get ahead of themselves. So we're like, oh God, that'd be right. Pendles will probably break his leg. Like we're just, yeah.
Well, it's karma for doing what he did to that pigeon.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone who I watched the game. I thought it was fantastic. I don't often get involved as this, but I was kind of excited through.
Well, you were drunk.
I was drunk, exactly. You know what I've done there. But it was. Pendlebury he bounced a ball on a pigeon.
So for Americans that don't know, in football, it's played with a ball that's similar in shape to an NFL ball, rugby ball. It's not a round ball.
It's a little more narrow, a little longer.
Yeah. And when you run every 15 meters, you have to bounce the ball, a bit like akin to a basketball dribble.
Yeah.
So Scott Pendlebury, the most underrated captain in the AFL, he got the ball and started running and bounced the ball and hit a pigeon.
Yeah. I think the commentator called it a risk-taking pigeon.
Well, I was
It
thinking
blamed the pigeon.
there's victim blaming and then there's that. That was
Scott Pendlebury's just bounced the ball on a risk-taking pigeon.
Yeah.
I've never
Why was the
heard-
pigeon dressed that way?
He was asking
What
for
was
it.
the pigeon expecting to happen to it that late at
A
night?
piece of meat. It's the first time a magpies want to fight with a pigeon, I'd say. Pigeons are good scrappers. I mean, magpies
Yeah,
swoop,
yeah,
but
yeah.
pigeons are scrappers.
Yeah. Magpies are pretty. They're cheap shop merchants.
Aren't they? They come from
Come
behind.
from behind.
Yeah. I once caught one in a T-ball mitt. I was running down. It was spring, and I got swooped, and I put my mitt above my head because I forgot my hat, and I got swooped, and I caught it in my mitt accidentally, threw the mitt on the ground, and jumped on the mitt, and then ran to the diamond. I'm a horrible human being, but I was terrified. I was 10 years old.
You know who else hurt animals as a 10-year-old? Every serial killer ever.
on running down to the T-ball field.
It doesn't
I was
matter.
running late for a T-ball
Listen,
game.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Yeah. And Dharma was interested in science. He still killed some cats. All right.
All right, let's kick
This
on.
one is more of a daily, and I don't know if it's
yeah.
really hacky or
No.
if it's kind of interesting.
Well, we can de-hackify it if you need to.
Trump, Kim Jong-il,
Yep.
and Putin posing in like a family.
Kim Jong-un.
Kim Jong-un, sorry.
Il is dead.
Il is dead. Il will be instead. Trump, Kim, and Putin all posing nuclear family.
Great.
Do you like that?
You know what? I feel like...
You know, like one of those really cheesy, awkward family
Yeah.
Kmart photos.
Let me tell you what'll make it better is Iran trying to angle its way into the portrait. Did you see what Trump said today? He said that because Iran, the Ayatollah kind of, spouted off some rhetoric about America.
The Ayatollah, that takes me back.
Something like that. Or I don't know, whomever is the head of state in Iran. And he said in response, he said they should not be levelling threats at the United States. And I quote, all caps, by the way, because there's no other way. There will be consequences. Now, I like the idea that Iran, despite the what was Stuxnet, the centrifuges, we went in a bit of cyber whatever you call it, espionage. We ruined their centrifuges.
No,
in
that's
the
what
Iranian...
they do. They do cyber espionage.
Well, apparently
we do
did
the
it.
Lord's work.
No, the Israelis did it. Oh, yeah, we do the Lord's work.
Yeah.
So it was a joint Israeli-US task force. And so now Iran is like gung-ho saying, no, we're going to become a nuclear state. So I like the idea of Putin, yes. Kim Jong-un, he's just come in, like from the side, because he's like a new, all right, come in. And then on the side is like the Ayatollah or someone from Iran just go, can I just like trying to angle in? Or even in the background, like photobombing
Or
them.
if they're doing or maybe it's a barbecue and peeking his head over the fence. Nuclear family reunion or something.
Nuclear family barbecue.
Yeah.
That's not bad. It's summertime. Everyone's doing a family barbecue.
Yeah.
I like nuclear family as a fun little...
You ever met an Iranian?
No.
I dated one once.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
How was
She'd
that?
always say she was Persian.
Oh,
like, I know what you're up to.
Hello.
I know what you're up to.
That's fun. Wow. I booked a show last week with a...
All right, mate.
We've all got stuff going on.
We're all busy.
That's funny. A Palestinian woman. And, it's not easy to live as a Palestinian in Manhattan. But I'll tell you what, boy, does she have some solid materials. All the political
yeah.
You know when they say the funniest stuff comes from what makes you angry? Good Lord.
Yeah.
Does she have some rope?
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. So I love that. Nuclear Family Daily. I've actually got a daily to pitch as well. But I'll wait till it's my round. But I like the idea
What's your one? Just say now.
The daily I have is...
Why we invent these rules and then we
I don't
stick
know.
to them and get
Well,
so
I'm the one
confused
with-
when one of us breaks them. We're like, well, this isn't the show.
I feel like the listeners expect some semblance of rigidity to any kind of... No, they don't. Not by now. Anyway, the daily is apropos of his speech in Helsinki. At the press conference, someone said, Mr. Trump, would you mind, please... I think he started using a big word like elucidating, but he just said, just explain what, the Russians have clearly, according to all of the US intelligence agencies, they have clearly said in all reports that the Russians meddled in the US election in 2016. Will you now tell President Putin and the Russian government that you will not stand for this and there will be consequences henceforth? And after he said, what does henceforth mean? I think he just went into this unmitigated rant against Hillary Clinton and the servers and the DNC. And it's like, where are the Pakistani gentlemen? Where are the servers? He said, where is the server? Singular.
Yeah.
Where is the server? I want to know, where is the server? And what is the server saying? He said those exact words.
Yeah.
Didn't answer the question.
Yeah.
Thrice he was asked the same question in different words.
Yeah.
And each time he sided with Russia.
Great.
My daily, apropos of that, which is sadly an evergreen, I think, despite it being quoted, is him at brunch. It's
Great.
Trump at brunch.
Yeah.
Where is the server? I want to know, where is the server? And what is the server saying?
That's great.
Because he's said those three questions in several different press conferences when he's trying to answer a question.
I really like that.
It's a misdirect that he uses constantly to get out of whatever he's being asked about the DNC, about Hillary, about the win. He's like, it's such a shame. We did win. We won well. I can't believe it's been overshadowed by this blah, 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 this investigation. I feel like just, where is the server? That's just another catchphrase that he's developed like MAGA.
I had one which was similar, not similar to that joke, but kind of it could be a daily, which was...
Not chips and guac for the table.
No, it was coming back to the top of the distraction batting order.
Oh, that's...
So it's like...
It's a baseball tie-in.
Yeah, it's a baseball tie-in. So I don't know if it's like maybe it's baseball players and on the back it's like NFL anthem debate. the server,
Yeah,
blah, 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 blah.
That's
It's
all right.
just, I don't know, there's something
There's
there.
something there. Yeah. There's something in that.
Well, we'll keep ruminating
Yeah,
on
okay,
that.
all right, yeah. What else you got?
I think you'll like this one.
Okay.
I've heard
that before.
I've heard that it could be cheesy, but
Okay.
a person coming in with holding up a clothes hanger with like an outfit on it, saying to a human, saying, we need to dress the elephant in the room, and in the corner there's an elephant made very shy and modest.
Now, you know I'd love this one before you said it. You already know because there's an anthropomorphized animal in it.
Is it been done? It's pretty punny.
I don't know that it's been done so much as the term "we have to address the elephant in the room" has been parodied ad nauseum in various comedic. Now, visually, I think there may have even been, not an Ed Steed, but someone of that ilk sort of literally doing a literalism on the "we need to address the elephant in the room." And it's literally an elephant in the room. One of my favourite Steeds, by the way, is just a cocktail party where there's a whole bunch of people just swilling cocktails in black tie, and there's a lion. And in the background, talking and holding a cocktail, I think is like a gazelle. And the lion goes, "Can you just hold this for a second?" He's in a tuxedo, though. He's in a tuxedo. It's one of my all-time favourites. I reckon, can we dress the elephant in the room? Now, obviously,
we need to dress.
We need to dress the elephant in the room.
Or can we dress the elephant?
Oh, wow. I mean, there's so many parts in my brain that are just firing right now. The first one goes, "Oh, come on." And then the other part goes, "That could look very funny."
I think it could look fun. It's very visual.
It's a very visual gag.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I like sillying up very visual situations. I like the idea that it's in a dressing room, maybe even like a high fashion thing, like a Pretty Woman sort of, what do you call it? Not Melrose Place. What do they call what's that?
Rodeo Drive.
Rodeo Drive situation where it's like a high fashion couture.
Or if you're from Kalgoorlie, Rodeo Drive.
Fuck off. My family's from Kalgoorlie. You bastard.
That was one of the great Dennis Commetti jokes when they were playing a practice match in Dubai.
Of course they were.
And Dennis was doing the opener. He goes, "And welcome, we are live here in Abu Dhabi." Or if you're from Perth, Abu Dhabi.
That's funny. That's great because he's a Perth bloke. Centimetre perfect kick to Madeira.
Such a great joke.
Dennis Commetti, for those of you who don't know, which I think there's 4 of you, a great football commentator, particularly in the 90s. I think he really shone.
Oh, no, 2000s was his time.
He's early 2000s as well. I was commissioned to draw his caricature for the AFL.
Oh, fantastic.
And it was presented to him at a fundraising dinner that night, and I got to meet him. And I drew him running and, bouncing a footy, and he looked at it and he went, "Oh, my neck's a bit big." Anyway,
that's great.
That was the feedback I got. It wasn't great job, Chatto. It was 06 it was.
He had one, Collingwood was playing in Adelaide, and he had a few in this match, actually, I remember. But the best one was Collingwood kicked like 1 goal, 18 behind. It's like really kicked horribly.
Yeah.
And we were just behind. It was at the end of the match, and Collingwood was going to lose by about 2 goals or something.
Right.
And he goes, "Well, I tell you what, Collingwood, they'll go home, they'll kick themselves. But the way they're going, they'll probably miss."
That is brutal. That's amazing. Quick bit of trivia. Eric Bana, the Hollywood superstar, as our US listeners might recognize him, from the 2008 flop by Ang Lee, The Incredible Hulk. Eric Bana did probably the best Dennis Commetti impersonation at I think it was a footy show sketch.
Oh, really?
And it was a song called Out of Bounds.
Great.
Yeah, you look up on YouTube, Out of Bounds. He does a
Eric
Rex
Bana?
Hunt. He does a Dennis Commetti. He does a Dipper.
Oh, yeah.
Dipper Domenico. He does several classics.
That's
and this
great.
is either Full Frontal or The Footy Show. And it's timeless. Anyway, sorry, we're going off on these AFL rants.
This one, I think you like this one. Desert
will.
Island.
Love it already.
2 people, man and a woman.
All right, calm down.
Eating a eating a coconut and the woman is saying, for the last time, Jeff, it is gluten-free.
All right.
Has that been done?
I think I've seen this one before.
All right, cancel it. What about this?
No. It's worth exploring.
Well,
Gluten-free. What if it's just because there's coconut water is this giant phase, and we've been desperately trying to sell this desert crawler cartoon.
Coconut water. That's what I thought of
Coconut
that.
water, and then we added like chips and guac for the
Yeah,
table.
yeah. That's right.
I do like the idea of there being a coconut that's fallen from a tree, and it's coconut water, and it's extra hydrating, and there's some kind of parallel with the desert island cartoon that we can draw with coconut water. There must be.
What if it's someone being handed a coconut, like they're in the raggedy clothes, being handed a coconut, and said, "I read somewhere it's really fatty."
Oh,
I like the idea of someone being fussy.
yeah, or someone fussy in a life or death situation. Like, no thanks, I'm more of an IPA guy.
Yeah.
That's a really funny. To me, I always laugh at those.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of glib, but they're very funny. I like the idea of someone being very, maybe they're allergic to coconuts, or, they're trying to lose weight. So they like, no, I heard it's a bad fat. Like avocados are a good fat.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you don't have any avocados, do you?
Yeah.
Like, because coconuts are high in, I want to say.
Or what about? It makes me break out, like being vain. Yeah. To go to that vanity thing.
Yeah. No, there's something there. There's definitely
Yeah.
something in coconut water. Desert Island.
Yeah.
I've got to. You know what I've got to do now? I've got to go immediately to the cartoon bank on Condé Nast and see who's done
Have a look.
first.
Yeah. Search Desert Island. There won't be much there.
No doubt it'll be Ellis J. Rosen or someone.
Yeah, exactly. A slug and a snail, or a snail
Okay.
having an argument.
Okay.
Or a slug is having a domestic dispute
Yep.
with his partner, who is or her partner, whatever it is, and it's a different species, different animal.
Okay.
Maybe they're not in a relationship. Who knows?
Okay.
But the slug or the snail is saying, "Spineless, you had to go there."
Funny. Yeah. There's something about.
There's something in that.
Can I expand on it?
Yeah.
What if it's
That's the premise of the podcast. Without that, it's just two guys reading lists.
Without that, it's just there's something in this.
It's like Mark Maron studying. Can I ask you a question? I'm not comfortable with that. All right, tune in next week as Conan O'Brien
God.
leaves my garage.
Oh, I listened to the Gus Van Sant WTF today, and I'm convinced
I've
that
never listened to it.
I'm convinced that the skip button, the skip forward button on podcast, was invented just for Mark Maron's first 15 minutes of his podcast.
Right,
He just rambles on.
Yeah.
Just self-indulgent. I mean, it's his own podcast.
This is the thing.
But,
It's his podcast and it's free.
He can do what he wants.
Yeah, you can do
It's
what
actually
you want.
not free if you want to. Anyway, but it's generally free. One of the great Sam Gross cartoons is, of course, a snail talking to another snail who's looking at a tape dispenser going, I don't care if she's a tape dispenser, I love her.
That's funny.
And
That's really great.
Here's what I thought to expand upon this cartoon. Instead of spineless, you had to go there. What if it's a snail talking to a bloke who's a slug, not bloke, talking to a slug, and then there's a female snail walking away. I don't know. Did you put eyelashes on the two stalks?
Yeah,
Is
bow.
A bow. She's sort of slid away with a shell, going, I lost the house in the divorce.
That's not bad.
But then two snails don't share a.
What if it's a hermit crab and it's a crab
I
walking
feel
away
like
with
that's
it?
been done. Maybe
Yeah.
now that I say it out loud, maybe that's been done. Did we already do a hermit crab lost in the? No, we did the Crab Shack, hermit crab, beachside bar, and no one goes because everyone's a hermit. Remember that one?
Hell, that's a lot of steps. How
It's a
did
lot
we?
of steps. There's too
how did-
many. That's why we didn't do it. Yeah. But even if she's got two shells, maybe. Yeah, I lost the house in the divorce. Or like she took my man cave. she's like slinking off with another shell. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I like the idea of it maybe even being less direct. Like he's talking to her going, oh yeah, I heard about the divorce. Like it's clear she.
Or
Or
how
maybe
about
it's
this?
his mate.
Here's what it
looking
is.
at her.
It's two female snails talking. One female snail has two shells, like
Yeah.
a shell on the back of a shell.
Yeah.
And the one with the regular shell saying, I need to get that number of your divorce attorney.
That's great.
I think that's the joke.
That's the joke.
I love it. That's
the
great.
joke.
And it's very simple too.
Yeah,
I can see it drawn out.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
great.
yeah.
Nice one. Yep. All right, so keep going. All right.
Yeah. Someone at a lecture. I've got a couple of lecture ones as well. Yeah. Someone at a lecture or the president addressing questions from the audience, or it might even be Sarah Sanders.
Okay.
But
I've got a template of her already drawn up.
Yeah. Okay, but this is the last time I explain how I sleep at night.
That's in. And you know what? That's an evergreen too.
Yeah.
That's an evergreen.
It's kind of nice, right?
Yeah, that's great. Is it that she will or she won't? Because she never answers questions. For the last time, I will not tell you how I sleep at night.
Yeah, I didn't really
think it's more her not answering.
Yeah.
Because she refuses to answer any actual direct questions. She is the most evasive.
Yeah. You can ask all you want, but I'm not getting into how I sleep at night.
Yeah.
Something
You can,
like that.
Or you can ask me anything but how I sleep. You know.
I like the idea of it being like it's been asked a lot.
Yeah.
So her going for the last time. Like, I've got another for the last time.
Yeah, go on.
Uh,
This is the opposite of last week.
I've got too many.
You have too many, which is great.
But
your cup runneth
what
over.
about a couple at a breakup?
Yeah.
And the woman saying, I'm not sure who, but one of us can do better.
Funny. That's
That's
good.
kind of nice joke,
That's
right?
very funny. No, I like that. That's a really clean joke.
This one needs work.
Yep.
And it's a guy, maybe at a date. I'm just thinking kind of datey things, but
Yep.
oh no, I don't collect garbage. I'm just a terrible person. Like, I heard you're a garbage man.
I'm a garbage person. I've heard people call someone a garbage person.
It's so bad.
So
it's
often.
brutal.
And you know when people so in New York, we have every day there's garbage collections, in separate areas.
On paper.
on paper, by law. But they call them garbage people now. Have you noticed that? Garbage. It's not a garbage man. It's garbage person.
I'm not spending enough time in the scene, the garbage scene.
You're
Obviously.
right. You've got to come to Laurie's side, my friend.
I've missed that we've become woke with the garbage people. Okay,
All right,
a broker showing a house. This needs this kind of...
We're in New York already.
Very New York. It's post-World War II, but pre-World War III.
That's great. They call it post-war. They call it a
post-war. That was my issue.
But I feel like if you're going to say World War III, you have to say World War II. That's the diametric opposition of the joke. So would you say, well, it's post-war, and depending on what you think of the news, also pre-war?
Well, it's post-war, but yeah.
But also pre-war.
Yeah, it's post-war and pre-war.
I feel like pre-war. That's like, when in New York, real estate agents are responsible for naming the different boroughs, or suburbs, I should say, within the boroughs. So like Soho, NoHo, Nolita, Loizada, all that sort of stuff. I feel like post-war is a real estate term. It's a post-war tenement walk-up. It's post-World War II, but pre-World War III.
What about it's a post-war building in a pre-war world?
That's not bad. See, that's closer to what it is. That's a little snippier.
It's a bit, yeah.
It's clippier. It's more snappy.
So I've got another couple. This one I
adjectives.
really like is a woman looking at a dress with a friend saying, I'm rent controlled.
What?
Because, and then this is the other one going back to the broker, which is, it's rent controlled in as much as the rent will control your life.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, but that was kind of the getting to that, like, a lot quicker, as in she's controlled by my rent. Like, I'm rent controlled.
My budget, it's rent controlled. That's
pretty good.
That's closer, I think.
Yeah, that's closer.
That's like having that first meeting with your accountant. They go, all right, well, where's the majority of your income going? Well, it's rent controlled.
Yeah. You drink a lot.
That's rent controlled.
Yeah.
By the way, having a lovely drop of red, courtesy of someone bought a print of one of our cartoons.
Oh, the Aqua joke.
You can go to jasonchatfield.com/store to buy a signed print of any of these cartoons that you hear us draw up. And we'll spend the money on wine that we drink
will
during
literally
the podcast.
spend it back for you.
It's
This
very
is the
liquid.
last one.
Go
This is
on.
the last one.
Yeah.
All right, I've been a bit controlling this week. A lecturer in, remember in Good Will Hunting when everyone was packed in going, who solved the thing? Who solved the thing?
Yeah, great film, yeah.
And they were like, and the one guy goes, was it you? To the guy, and the guy was like, it wasn't me. What a dick. I would have been like, yep. Yeah, I did that.
You would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And blowjobs are good.
Where were you when you thought up that one?
So no, this is the lecturer. That's kind of the visual.
Yeah. Okay.
And the lecturer is saying,
Sounds like a bit.
the lecturer is saying, not a good bit. The lecturer is saying, and who knows, maybe one of you one day will write the Great American Status Update.
Oh, that's not bad.
I was thinking
Great
tweet.
American tweets.
It's not tweet, but I think it's kind of been a bit
Tweets a bit.
done. But status
Great
updates a
American
bit.
status update. Great American Instagram. Great American Snapchat. Great American.
I think status update you can apply to other
You can.
things.
People say status update when they talk about Facebook, but it also applies to Snapchat. It also applies to Twitter. It really does apply to Facebook primarily.
It is, but
as far as the vernacular goes.
So I went and we pitched a joke to the New Yorker,
This
which
week?
was when I went in.
Yeah.
It was something along the lines. It
God,
was
when
a
you said I went in, you looked like a Vietnam veteran
Yeah, I
looking into the
stared
middle
off into
distance.
the middle distance. We what was it? It was a Facebook one, the listening one, and Emma
Oh,
was
what did she say?
she was like, yeah, no, people are more like having arguments on Facebook, like your racist aunt or something.
No.
That's why I think status update is a bit more their
Yeah,
wheelhouse.
Okay.
That's my
yeah.
thinking.
No, that's true. And, not for nothing, but every now and then we'll picture like bleeding edge, zeitgeist-esque saying, according to technology, something such as, my phone is always listening to me, my boyfriend, I wish my boyfriend listened to me the way Facebook does at all times,
Yeah.
or, Jeremiah's started to recommend products that I might like. He listens so well, or something like that.
Yeah.
But that's
That's
not
right,
in
that was
the
the original-
psyche of the readership of the New Yorker. I don't think.
No, I think that's reasonable. No, exactly. No, absolutely.
As funny and pertinent as it is, which I love. I love anything that's pertinent and zeitgeisty. However, the readership is a fine balance, and they seem to be more tuned into it than we are. For whatever
Oh,
reason.
absolutely. No, they know the audience, so
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
you
yeah.
can't be like, it's lit, fam, and expect anyone to get it.
Well, yeah, right. I don't think I've seen a lit reference once in the New Yorker, so I think that tells you where the gauge is as far as the vernacular goes.
Is there something in like a bunch of like brunch girls just partying in a library under the women's lit section?
That's great. That's funny.
That's so
That's
dumb.
funny. That's not going in the New Yorker. I'm going to draw that up, and I'm just going to put it into the universe. That's funny
See what
as hell.
happens.
That'll sell as a print, my friend. Or that'll sell as a T-shirt or a tote bag.
It's a tote bag.
That's a tote. Great.
All right,
Love
what do
that.
you got?
All right, mate. That was great. But what a slew of
There was a bit, yeah. No,
You
it was
got
a
some
bit
bangers
It was
in
a bit
there.
much.
No, it wasn't. It was fucking awesome. Okay, so here's a throwaway just to get us off to a cracking start. It's a young Donald Trump in school.
Wait, you had me at young Donald Trump.
There is actually a comic strip called Lil Donnie on Go Comics.
Oh, so I think you've shown me. You've sent me this.
And
where,
then
like,
there's just this, idiotic little Donnie, the adventures of Lil Donnie, basically, like little Annie Abner. Young Donald Trump in a classroom, and the teacher's going, "No, Donald, chicken isn't an element."
That's great.
You know the periodic chart?
Yeah. Oh, I think anything
No,
of
Donnie,
him.
chicken isn't an element. Is it daily, by the way?
I think again, like just
Again, great. Yeah,
chicken
that's
isn't
great. That's what it needs.
Yeah.
So it's something he just keeps...
keeps harping
and he
on.
won't relent because he can't be wrong. He insists that CH is an element, or KFC, or whatever it is an element. All right.
Yeah.
That was purely a throwaway on one late night on a subway.
No, I like that joke.
Okay.
I do like that joke.
All right.
And I like the implied, like you've probably seen this week. I really like that implied repetition, like you know what has happened leading up to this moment.
That's one of my favourite things is that there's an implication
about
what happened prior, which is so
It's
great.
a real Conan O'Brien technique that he did in The Simpsons really well.
That's
like
very
that
true.
kind of.
The monorail.
There was the monorail's probably the gold standard. I shouldn't have stopped for that haircut being the gold medal holder.
Yeah.
But yeah, that implication of
Still yet to find North Haverbrook, by the way.
name the other two.
North Haverbrook, monorail.
North Haverbrook's often the forgotten one.
No, that's why I remember it, because I remember seeing it on the Newcastle Herald had a letters section about.
Oh, I remember the monorail. Brockway, Ogdenville, and
Ogdenville.
North Haverbrook.
That's right.
And
Brockway,
by gum, it put them on the map.
That's right.
By gum, what a line.
By gum, I put them
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the map. And it was like one after the other letter to the editor.
Yeah.
What a day in the Newcastle
Yeah,
Herald
you just
history.
feel like Conan wouldn't, like, he's a big tall man, but he wouldn't look silly wearing a pale suit and a bow tie.
Certainly not.
Like, yeah.
No,
he
that's right.
He would look like Lyle Lanley.
The ring pulled off my pudding can. Take my penknife, my good man.
Okay, now we're in
right.
dangerous territory of getting sued.
I'm sorry, yeah.
There's fair use, and then there's fair use.
It's fair use. All right. Now, here, this is very odd, and like I said, I'm a little thin this week. It's a guy in a couple's fight, similar to your snail gag. Really.
Okay.
It's in a somewhat like a relationshipy kind of fight, where it's Alice from Alice in Wonderland having a fight with her beau. And she's having a couple's fight. And let me tell you this idea was spurned from yours from episode like 10.
Right.
Blowing things out of proportion. I can't wait to blow this out of
Oh,
proportion later.
sure.
It's,
Yeah.
You're blowing this whole thing way out of proportion, Alice.
Right.
You know how in Alice in Wonderland, she's giant, everything's small, and then vice versa? It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, Alice, you're blowing this whole thing way out of proportion.
Like
he's cheated on her or something, or she's found a text on his phone. Maybe she's holding his phone. He's just got out of the shower.
What if it's her pointing at something in Wonderland? No, that's out of proportion. Like, she's reacting to him. That's blowing things out of proportion.
You want to see blowing things out of proportion?
Yeah. Drink this.
Drink this. Is she fighting with the Cheshire Cat or the rabbit maybe then? I want to draw her as Disney's Alice. So that
I just
with
thought
the
of like a
headband.
really crude joke of her shacking up with the rabbit,
Yeah.
being like, so that breeding thing's just a saying. Like she's just a sexually unfulfilled Alice in Wonderland.
Can I tell you what one of my favourite jokes we've ever pitched to the New Yorker is the post-coital in bed. Would you have a moment to take a short survey about your experience?
Oh, we just pitched that
I
the
love
other
that
day.
joke. That's
Yeah,
a
it's
great
a good joke, and
I'll
it
cut
looks
that
lovely.
out when we sell it to the New Yorker,
that's
because we will.
Wow.
I've just.
Yeah.
Okay.
You fucked that one.
Yeah. Anyway, there's something about blowing it out of proportion.
I do like that.
There's something there. Anyway, so it's a talking cat.
Yeah. Good.
Calm yourself, talking animal.
Yeah.
Grim Reaper. Settle down. Calm down.
If they're on a desert island, I could fall off my chair.
I need to put you in a bubble at this point. Cat saying to the Grim Reaper, "Oh, not you again."
Oh, yeah.
Is it to that, though? Is it to... I feel like it's a bit that.
What if it's the Grim Reaper next to a cat
Yeah.
near like a busy road or something? This is the 6th time this week.
We got to stop meeting like this. The idea, because, obviously cat has 9 lives. The idea is to try and let the reader figure out the 9 lives thing on their own to make them feel clever and then put it together. But then like Grim Reaper with a cat... First of all, I'm going to have to search the cartoon bank for this one. Sounds like a Sam Gross cartoon. But I like the idea of the cat being annoyed that the Grim Reaper's like, I get it.
Do you know what I love?
Yeah.
The amount of times we go, it sounds a bit like an Ellis, or it sounds like a Sam Gross, or this could be a Roz. Like,
This is like encyclopedic.
But then them listening to it going, I wouldn't write that crap. You nuts.
How dare you assign that to me, you piece of garbage, you garbage person. What if... so it's the cat talking to the Grim Reaper saying, "Oh, you again? This is the 6th time this week." Like, not you again.
Oh, I heard the Grim Reaper saying it's the 6th time this week. Like, he's getting frustrated with having to keep coming back for the cat.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's the cat talking to the Grim Reaper,
Okay.
be like, 3 to go. Like,
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
That's better. 3 to go. I'm warning you. Yeah, it's better if I think there's a familiarity between the two of them. Like you were saying before, that there's an implied prequel. There's an implied setup. What is it this time? Like, he's shown up. They know each other.
Yeah.
6 times prior.
Yeah.
All right, Daryl. What is it this time? What's his name? What's the cat's name? Steve? Daryl? All right, Steve. What is it this time? And he's like a cat stuck in a fence.
Yeah.
Like between 2 fence posts.
Yeah.
something like he's in like a not. I don't want to make it like gruesome John Callahan-esque, but like
I saw that.
you saw that. How was it? I haven't even seen it yet.
The Don't Worry, He Won't Get Far on Foot. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all right.
As far as Gus Van Sant goes, pretty good, eh?
I liked it.
Yeah, good. Did you get it? Yeah, I heard you got inspired. That's why you're so thick this week.
I just got I got inspired to drink.
Oh,
He was an alcoholic, but
it's a recovery film.
Yeah. No, I got
yeah.
inspired to live your life.
Let's go and have a fucking whiskey. Yeah, okay. The
No,
one
it's
where
very-
he's downing that entire bottle of wine and going, no, go buy your own.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I've got to say
Yeah.
the performances are excellent.
It was going to be Robin Williams originally.
Oh, yeah.
And then something happened. And then they got, I can't imagine it being anyone but Joaquin Phoenix.
He was very good. Yeah, he was
He's
very good.
method. Small tidbit, by the way. Sorry, go on.
I was thinking of a meta joke. Do your tidbit and then we can go back to my
Okay,
meta.
tidbit is I'll be in the New Yorker this week, but not in cartoon form. I'm quoted in a story by Emma Allen, the cartoon editor,
Can
about
you tell
a lunch.
the story?
Yeah, because it comes out on Tuesday, and this episode will come out on Friday. I got a call from the fact checker at the New Yorker, one of them, and he goes, I was at the gym. So he
Righto,
goes, do you have a
mate.
minute? Yeah, come on, we're all
Alright.
swole, mate. Come on. I was wasting time looking at my phone at the gym,
Yeah.
scrolling through Instagram, and. Fact checker goes, I just need to confirm a few things with you. According to Emma's story, just need to fact check. Were you at the Pergola dell'Artistes on Tuesday with Emma Allen and Sam Gross and Gus Van Sant and Tom Torp, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, I was there. And he goes, I just need to confirm a couple of things. Were you drawing on the table at one point? I was like, oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, I did that. I did draw on the table like a 7-year-old at an Italian restaurant. And one more thing. When Sam Gross brought out his favorite cartoon of all time, which is Jesus pole vaulting using a crucifix, did you or did you not say, oh, the caption for that one would be CrossFit, and everyone groaned? I said, I cannot at this time confirm nor deny the presence of a groan. And I sent it to Emma saying, listen, I don't know what you wrote, but it was more of a collective eye roll and maybe a sigh, less a groan.
Yeah. Who
And-
groans?
Yeah, and she emailed back just going, I didn't say everyone groaned. I was like, all right. And I was like, well, okay, fake news.
Hey, super meta joke just off the
Do
back
it.
of your one,
Yeah.
which is Desert Island, Grim Reaper, a
With
couple dressed as if they're at a cocktail party.
Perfect.
Maybe a horse on its hind legs wearing a tie, and one of them is saying,
I love it already. Print it.
one of them saying is that
Yeah.
this should work.
What does that mean?
It means as a joke, it's every joke trope.
Oh,
in
I'm
one,
so sorry.
And one of them is saying
Do you know-
this should really work better. Or
I'll tell you why I got lost is I was so happy and excited at Cocktail Party, Desert Island, and Horse on his hind legs.
yeah,
I
with the Grim Reaper.
I totally lost with the Grim Reaper. I
Yeah.
totally lost track of the joke because I was so excited
Exactly.
to draw it.
Yeah.
I'm going to draw that and I'm going to stick it in front of my drawing board and I'm never going to stop looking at it. I'm never going to get any work done again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm going to draw it and that'll be our new logo.
What do you
for
think of the
podcast.
caption?
The caption is, "This will never get sold." There's a great old, I think it's either Charles Adams or a...
Or what? I'm sure this would look good on paper.
This will look good in the magazine. This will look great in print. There's a great... I hate to say it's Charles Adams because I know it's not. It's either Charles Adams or Thurber or Stieg or someone like that. And it's a cartoon of this painter, like this serious painter. And he's painted this beautiful... it's a situation with a couple of people in it, and they're at a parlor, and they're dressed up, and they have the collars, and there's a beautiful ornate dining room and a ballroom with a chandelier, and there's someone else leaning in. And it's like, why no? I never thought to put a pithy caption underneath.
Oh,
It's
wow.
like the
That's
first
very meta.
self-referential New Yorker cartoon in like 1967.
I like that.
Something like that. Please correct me on what that is. Whomever is listening who even knows.
What else you got?
Okay. Now, We have an unusually large number of suggestions this week, and for that reason, I'm going to defer some of them to our mini pod next week because there's no New Yorker meeting next week, ladies and gentlemen.
Are we going to get into suggestions? Because can I just read something?
Oh, please, by all means.
Can I? We were reviewed on iTunes.
Okay. Now,
And-
I don't have an Australian iTunes account, so you're the only one who can access the reviews.
This is great.
Okay, go on.
It's a great 5 stars. Looks great. Look, no, this is it. This is it.
Oh, no.
Look, great podcast. Good genes, very good genes.
I know where this is going. I love it.
Okay, very smart. The best podcast. Very good, very smart. You know, if you're a podcast listener, if I was a podcast listener, if I listened to this podcast, they would say I'm one of the smartest people anywhere in the world. It's true.
This is the greatest
That's
review
the best
I've ever
review
received.
I've ever received. Yeah.
Whomever sent that.
Pat is melting.
Oh, Pat is melting. Pat, I am melting. That is the greatest
So good.
review I think I've ever heard in my life. Thank you. And it's so on point. Great parody.
It's a very good joke.
Is
very
so
good joke.
accurate.
Yeah, I really like that.
Oh, Pat. We're lucky to have listeners
We
like
are
you.
lucky, and also,
It's a countdown to when we lose Pat.
and also, Pat doesn't throw reviews around. This is only Pat's 3rd review. Can we go through Pat's other
Really?
reviews?
Oh, what are you doing?
Pat's reviewed.
Oh, my gosh.
I've got to say though, Pat, not afraid of a 5-star,
Oh, go on then.
which is a bit annoying because
Thanks,
the Sudoku classic puzzle app got a.
The bane of my existence as it pertains to Ginger Megs.
Oh yeah, of course it would
Megs
take a
gets
lot of
bumped.
real estate.
It gets bumped for Sudoku every time.
Well,
Go on then.
new update, not great, says Pat is
no.
melting.
Brutal.
I enjoyed the app. But now, if you make more than 3 mistakes, you have to sit through a 30-second ad. Well, don't make mistakes, Pat.
Pat, you've already made a mistake, mate.
I'm just going to download a Sudoku app that doesn't do this. Well, do you know what I like about this? Pat
Given a
has
suggestion.
written a glowing review, 5
Yeah.
stars, because people have worked on it, and that's Pat. Pat knows this.
Well, they know that they'll read the 5-star. They
He's-
won't read a 1-star.
He's there. Oh, well, I don't read any 1 stars. Don't put them there. He's gone halfway through,
Go on
or
then.
she,
Yep.
and then
Patricia?
been like, actually, I'll just find an app that doesn't do this.
I
You
feel
do,
like
you
there's a
do you
journey.
app.
This is
yeah.
like a haiku.
This one is almost like a. This one's for a game called Star Ocean.
I feel like I've figured Pat out now. This is like a
It's
puzzle
like an
that I've
anime.
just put together.
No, it's like an anime game. This
Yep.
was Gotta Get Gacha Games, 5 stars. I
Okay.
missed the beta, so I was curious. Downloaded the rather hefty file. Skipped most of the story. Discovered it was more interesting than I thought it was going to be. These are all new lines.
Pat, did you write all of these reviews at 5 in the morning?
I
Are you on the spectrum? Because I think we might have just found our perfect
No,
listener.
I fuck with Pat.
No,
Well
I
done,
fuck with Pat too. I adore Pat. In fact, Pat is listener of the week, ladies and
Stop
gentlemen.
melting, Pat. You are the
That's great.
Yeah, move aside. It's Sensei Comedy. Another person who reviewed our
Brilliant.
podcast.
No, I don't even want. Do I want to hear it?
Yeah, but first
Go
yeah,
on.
Sensei
Why are we reading
Sensei
reviews?
Comedy. Oh yeah, let's read the
Fucking
review.
hell.
5 stars.
Go
Maybe
on.
skip the first episode unless you're a fan of the all too familiar. What should we call this podcast conversation?
No, fair enough. Fair call.
Otherwise, a funny podcast about a unique topic.
Ta.
That doesn't sound like 5 stars. We'll
No.
cop it, but
Good on it.
okay. Listener suggestions.
Okay, listener suggestions. And can I just say thank you so much for all the listeners. We have been.
You never thank me. I make suggestions.
Why would I
every
thank
week.
you? All you do is provide podcast material, wonderful jokes, a bottle of red wine, bottles of red wine, and a wonderful co-host. Now, listen. Just before I go ahead with the listener suggestions, and again, I do want to thank you all for sending them in. Please send them in at Jason Chatfield on Instagram, or just email me jasonchatfieldcomedy@gmail.com. Thank you for everyone who's been doing that so far. Please don't send me silly puns because you know that I'll read them. Here's a great one I got. Beer and clothing in Bris Vegas.
I like that.
I hate it.
I know you would, but it's so beer and clothing and
Yeah, because
Bris Vegas.
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas is one of my
I'd make
favorite Stedman, Hunter S. Thompson, Gonzo, pieces. Because I'm a huge Stedman fan, and Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas as a film and as a book, as a piece, brilliant. And then someone saying beer and clothing in Bris Vegas, not only does it sound precisely like it, but I can picture the article.
It's just one. Yeah. Do you know what? It's an article about a store that sells
In the Courier Mail.
Yeah.
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 I don't know if it's a cartoon.
No, it's not but that's why I read it and went, you know what? I'll say it, but I won't pay it any mind. Okay, so the suggestions this week, and may I say some crackers of suggestions this week. Let me just quickly read through some of the best. Okay, here's one from Clancy.
Go.
G'day, boys, love your work.
Thanks, Clancy.
Always a solid start. What about a meeting of the marketing department for bananas?
Okay.
Go on, Clancy. Giant bananas in suits, question mark? I don't know. All right, I'll leave that to me, mate. They're lamenting losing their stranglehold of the lucrative dick jokes demographic to the eggplant. All right, Clancy, we can't... Can we... It's talking about emojis.
Yeah.
You know,
I get it.
emojis. There was a banana emoji instead of the eggplant emoji for dick now. I feel like that's a little too mad than New Yorker. But, Clancy, you're very... I mean, you're on point.
I'm just trying to think.
Yeah, run it through the
The
Dulles
marketing
brain.
department.
Marketing department of bananas.
Mm.
I mean, they don't want to slip up.
Is there something in the idea of them, like, they've taken the monkey market for granted for too long?
Funny.
Like, yeah.
That's not
So,
bad. Because they're high in potassium and monkeys eat them. Bananas.
monkeys eat bananas.
Yeah,
that's,
yeah.
That's all we know.
Can I tell you something? Every now and then, I do advertising illustrations sometimes. I do either storyboards, concepting, ideation, illustration, for various... I did Sky Vodka recently. No one knew it was from America.
I hate the word ideation.
It's the
sounds
worst.
made up.
It's almost worse than co-creation. It is made up.
But so is everything.
I actually worked on the Brisbane, according to, as it pertained to just before I left Australia, worked on the bananas, I want to call it the Commission. It was based out of Coffs Harbour in...
Yeah. The big banana, man.
Yeah, that's kind of the same. It's a herb, would you know? It's a herb. Who knew that?
Banana's a herb,
Yeah,
not a
it's
fruit.
Banana's a herb, yeah. Bananas marketing department. What if it's that they're upset that they're always the butt of the joke? Slipping. There's always someone slipping on a banana peel. What if it's... Because I'm like, yeah, all right.
Oh, no slip-ups.
No slip-up. All right, boys, no slip-ups here. You know, like maybe it's a banana talking to another. Because I don't know if you guys know, American listeners, there is a wildly popular, yet canned by the ABC, series called Bananas in Pajamas. It didn't quite make the jump across the Pacific to the US, but it is wildly popular.
They're mates with the Wiggles.
Mates with the Wiggles. B and P.
I don't mind the idea of the banana marketing department.
I love that idea. Yeah. There's got to be something there.
Yeah, and
We can mine this for potassium.
because when you go to a zoo,
Yes.
you actually see monkeys eating like just heads of lettuce and
Oh,
like,
what zoo are you going to?
and I don't know, the zoo.
Fucking Brooklyn Zoo. Lettuce.
You know, I went to Mexico Zoo. Have you been to Mexico Zoo? Mexico City.
I've been to the Bronx Zoo. Never been
Mexico
to
City
Mexico
Zoo is terrifying.
What is it?
It's in the middle of this park, like,
Yeah.
and you just walk in. It's just free to
Go
walk
on
in.
then.
Ashika and I walked around for
What part of
90 minutes. It's right in the center, right in the middle
Mexico
of
City.
Mexico City.
Okay, go on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we walked around for, honestly, 90 minutes. And about 45 minutes in, I said to Ashika, I said, have you seen any members of staff? And she was like,
Is this a
You
shipping
know what?
facility?
no,
Wow.
I haven't.
That's horrifying.
So we stayed, we were like ready to go.
Yeah,
And then I was
yeah.
like, no, we're not leaving until we see
your poor
member,
fiancé.
a member of staff.
The things you put her through.
All right,
Honestly.
Atlantic City boy.
Yeah, right. Sorry. Touche. Yeah.
We didn't see a member of staff. It's a staffless.
Zoo.
It's like in Planet of the Apes, you know, like where they put Caesar
Yeah.
and they just fuck off at night. Like no one's in charge.
Oh, wow.
It's like that all the time.
What are they called? The inmates are running the asylum. What are they
Well,
called?
yeah.
Wow, the monkeys are running the zoo.
Yeah.
That's in Mexico City.
Mexico City. Yeah. Have you been to Mexico City?
No,
a good town.
I've been to
Good
Tijuana.
town.
I've
No,
never
fun
been
town.
to Mexico City.
Yeah.
It's a fun town. It sounds like the kidnapping
wild.
capital of America.
Here's the thing.
Central
you don't
America.
want to get kidnapped?
No.
Don't buy Coke at 4 o'clock in the morning off a stranger.
No,
There.
I'm
Saved
out.
you.
I'm out. Sorry, buddy.
You don't tell me how to relax.
Here's one from Oscar Tigwell.
Yeah.
No relation to Charles Bud Tingwell. As
Well,
Gramps.
because they spell and pronounce their names differently.
Yeah, that's true.
That's probably why they're not related.
Hi, Jason and Dools. And
Hi.
let me preface this by saying this one still needs a bit of Scott Dooley magic. Hey, fuck you, Oscar.
Oscar, it's in.
Don't worry about the Chateau magic, but go on. Love the podcast, by the way. Just thought of this, and I'm excited to actually finally have a suggestion.
Great. That's great.
Good on you, mate.
Do you know why I love this?
Why?
Is because he didn't send any old crap.
No.
He's thought about it.
He's a long-time listener.
yeah.
First-time
And
caller.
been like, nah, that's not good enough. That's not good enough. All right, here
Oscar
we go.
from Canberra, by the way, saying, is there something in this?
All right.
Canberra, Australia's capital territory. A French guy, beret, striped shirt, etc.
No, we
got
understood
it.
it, French guy.
We got it, Oscar. Is standing next to George Harrison and Ringo Starr.
Oh, you've... Okay. All right.
All right, before I...
Did I write this in a fever dream? Because it's ticking a lot of
Before I
boxes.
give the caption, what's your email address, Scott? And do you have an alter ego called Oscar from Canberra?
Okay, I want to see if I can guess the caption.
Can you please? Go on. This is a fun game. Go on.
Okay.
Yep.
It's a French person next to...
George and Ringo.
George and Ringo.
Yeah.
So...
And by the way, it still needs a bit of Scott Dooley magic, so
The
keep
two,
that in mind.
The two lesser Beatles, we'll say. They're the lesser... Oh,
hey, get out of it.
George had the biggest hit.
Yeah, but go on then.
So one's
the Beatles.
dead,
Big fan.
one's
Who is it?
alive. So it's got nothing to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
French baguette. Is it a pun? What's the caption?
Don't. No,
No.
this is the game.
I can't...
You wrote this in a fever dream and emailed it to me.
Yeah.
Under your pseudonym Oscar from Canberra.
All you need is love. I want to hold your hand. I'm just trying to think of kind
French gentleman with
French.
George and Ringo.
I played at the...
Okay.
Yeah,
The caption, question mark?
sure.
The caption? Jean-Paul, George and Ringo.
Oh, fuck, that's funny.
John Paul.
Oh, that is
George
so
and Ringo.
dumb. I love
Isn't that
it.
great?
That is great. That is really
I don't even know if that
funny.
needs any Scott Dooley magic.
That is so funny.
Isn't that good?
Oh, God.
You know what? I tell you
love
what,
it.
and I never do this, and please, listeners, don't think this is a rule, but Oscar, email me back, send me your postal address. I'm going to draw that up and send it to you, mate. That's a fucking cracker.
And
We call that one a banger.
That's a banger.
That's a banger.
That is an absolute
Thank you, Oscar.
banger.
Good on you.
And
I'm glad you waited
Yeah.
till you had something.
How are you going to... I think, like...
I've got exactly.
But can George and Ringo be different eras? So, like,
Oh.
Ringo's Sgt. Pepper's,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
George's Let It Be, like with a beard?
That's classic. I love that. Oh, that's going on my wall. That's great. Good on you, Oscar.
I'm
Thank you.
trying to think... Do you know what could be... It might make it a bit...
Oh, this is the Dooley magic.
It might make it a bit too pop culture-y. But if
Okay.
it's the Pope, John Paul II...
Oh. Now, he's John Paul, whereas he's pitched
Jean Paul, yeah, but John Paul,
J.E.A..
JP2, remember, who's probably, I'd say he's the most famous Pope.
Didn't he retire before dying?
No, that was
No, that was
Ratzenberger.
Ratzenberger.
What was his name?
Ratzinger.
Ratzinger.
Joseph Ratzinger.
Oh. Member of the Hitler Youth. Member of the Hitler Youth.
Calm down. He's all right. What am I doing defending?
What are you defending? I don't know what you're defending here. Either a Pope
Or John. Okay, one last one, and it's from my favourite suggester of all time.
not the mummy.
Mortgage broker
mummy.
Now, you know we have a rule, we can't do 2 in a row.
Yeah.
But it's been 4 episodes.
Oh, here we go.
She got in touch.
What's MBM got for us?
Classic MVM. I have an extra spring in my step after listening to that episode.
Lovely.
And you guys dedicating at least 20 minutes to me.
Yep.
Go on then. I'm even seeing other Collingwood Magpies here in Brisbane wearing hats and shirts around during the week.
Yeah, we're up and about at the moment.
Tell Scott to book flights to Melbourne for the end of September.
I'm keeping a lid on it. Listen, it's just a 1 week at a time proposition, and you know what? We've come up against some good stuff.
All the platitudes.
Yeah.
Come on.
All right.
Okay. She said Karen the Pies. Caren the Pies. Oh, she's mistyped.
She's mistyped. Karen the Pies. Yeah.
My bad. Okay, Karen the Pies. Okay. Hi. Listening. Blah blah blah. Scott went to see the Yankees. No, went to see the Mets. They were clearly terrible, and the announcer thanked them for coming. It made me think of the Mets as Auskick, or the US equivalent, and the crowd is their parents and grandparents that have to come. Or do the Mets get a participation certificate for playing, just like junior sports that are not much good?
I do like that as an idea.
She goes, you know what? I don't know how you would draw that. Silly me. Thanks a lot, mortgage broker mummy.
MBM, these are Jason problems that we don't have to worry
These
about.
aren't Scott Dooley problems. These are Chatfield problems.
Yeah,
so that's what she said.
I always like the idea of infantilizing, probably not a word,
Go on then.
professional athletes.
Yeah.
And
Auskick is, by the way, in Australia, that's like junior AFL football, like Australian football.
yeah, and they go on and they play at halftime of the professional matches, and it is adorable.
Is it though?
It is so cute.
Go
Are
on
you
then.
kidding me?
Yeah.
I mean, there's something funny to boil down someone's life work to at least you tried.
Not bad. That's
like
not bad.
the silver medalists at the Olympics, kind
It's
of.
not even the silver medalist, it's the participation trophy, which is such a slap in the face. I mean, I know that this current generation kind of get those no matter what they do. They get a participation trophy. I didn't even get that in T-ball.
Because you killed a bird,
All
man.
right, I killed a magpie. That's the episode title. Chatfield killed a magpie.
See you later, Einstein farted.
Thank you,
Thank you,
mortgage broker mummy.
MBM.
Fantastic.
I reckon that's the episode.
I reckon that's the episode. If you want to figure out how the hell I put these ones together, from idea to pen on paper at the drawing board, I was featured on A Case for Pencils this week.
that was a good interview.
It was, it
I
was.
didn't get mentioned as much as I would have liked.
You got a fucking solid mention.
I know, but
I said that my brain doesn't work and you help it work.
here's the thing.
And then I plugged the pod at the end.
Here's the thing I figure that everyone, listeners included,
Go
are
on,
doing.
then.
When I'm not in a room, they're like, where's Poochie? Except they replace Poochie with Scott. And I'm both Scott and Poochie.
Brilliant. Love it. Poochie. So check out that one. Just Google A Case for Pencils. Go on.
We have a live show coming up.
We have a live show coming up. Please, by all means, tweet, text, email, and Instagram us for dates, times, and tickets.
Yeah. To
It's
register.
going to be in Brooklyn. Please let us know if you're around, if you're keen.
Yeah.
In August.
Particularly, and there's a lot of Australians who kind of travel to New York
Yeah.
around that August
If you're going to
time.
be
Let us know.
in New York in summer at all, just hit us up.
Let us know, because it's going to be a good show. We've
Yeah.
got some very fun friends.
We can't tell you who's going to be
can't
on the
tell
show,
you
but it's
who.
going to be very, very good. So hit us up, DM us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever. Email us, jasonchatfieldcomedy@gmail.com. We have a live show coming up. Let us know. Thank you for tuning in once again. Please send in your suggestions to those exact same places. If you want to see Scott, you can see him posing on Instagram with the cover of the Playboy model of this month's
my
issue.
friend Sarah. You know Sarah. You met
I
Sarah.
know Sarah, yeah. I was very jealous. You trying to look casual with the cover model of Playboy this bloody month, you bloody bastard. And look us up on Instagram and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Go on then. Let's go have a beer.
Yeah.